Hey friends, Axial GT here with another New World video. Today we're looking at what I think is the best starter weapon for new players, plus some tips to get new players going in New World. Let's do this. Okay, so New World is set to launch on September 28th, 2021. That's just a little over a week away from the making of this video. And while I do see a lot of people saying it's confirmed, I don't want to go that far. We have been in this position before. Last year people were tweeting to the New World Twitter account asking if launch was a done deal, as they were scheduling vacation. New World tweeted out yes, and we all know how that turned out. Here we are over a year later, waiting for the official launch of New World. I say all that to say I don't think it will be delayed again, and believe September 28th is our day to play New World. But always remember, anything can happen. And before we get started with the tips and my choice for starter weapons for brand new New World players, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe for future Axial GT content. And don't forget to ring the bell to be notified of when I upload. I do a mix of hardware and gaming news and reviews, plus obviously New World content. And be sure this channel is a no spin, no bullshit channel. I have never been known to sugarcoat things, and I would like to see your thoughts and ideas in the comments below, even if you don't agree with me. Unlike some, I don't have feelings, so they won't be hurt. With that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, for new starter weapons in New World, and I admit this is going to be subjective, all the weapons are viable options. But for new players of New World, I would start with the hatchet, and I'll get to the secondary here in a bit. But the hatchet, in my opinion, is the best all around for those new players out there. Its versatility in any given build makes it a good go-to starting weapon for beginners and veterans alike, especially when you look at the Berserker Mastery Tree. Okay, I know I said Berserker Mastery Tree, but it's actually the hatchet abilities. This is the perk tree you get while using the hatchet. And yes, Berserker is the first one you need to get. Now the hatchet did get nerfed in between the closed beta and open beta, but it's still a good starting weapon. Go ahead and select your Berserk that provides increased damage and has a longer than usual active time. Then go ahead and get your On the Hunt, which is second, that increases your movement speed. It can be vital when chasing down enemies or other players. Then come over and grab Berserking Refresh. When your Berserking ends, it provides healing, which will be vital, especially in the beginning. Given that that provides healing, also along with a tip I gave in one of my previous videos, that early on, you can easily create many weak health potions. And if you put them in a quick slot, they don't take up any weight. All you need is Bull Rush and water, and both can be gathered anywhere where water is, which is pretty much everywhere. After you get those three, I would actually go ahead and get Feral Rush. Now, it works great in PvE, but not so much in PvP because you wind up missing a lot. Works great if you can hit, but that doesn't always seem to be the case. Next on the list of things to get is Engaging Strikes. If your target is low on health, your light and heavy attacks do more damage. Then we can jump over here and get Accumulated Power. After 3 successful light attacks against the same target, you gain Empower, granting increased damage for 3 seconds or until the next attack. Now when it comes to secondary weapon, I would actually go with the bow. And yes, I know you can use the throwing abilities with the hatchet and receive some of the same benefits, but I believe in keep things simple, stupid. With the bow, I jump over to the hunter abilities and grab Penetrating Shot, because you can shoot an arrow, dealing tons of damage, and your arrow does pass through the target with a chance to hit something else. Then I'd go ahead and run this line straight down and get Blood-Soaked Arrow next, which increases the damage of Penetrating Shot by 10%. And the next is Deep Strike, which increases Penetrating Shot damage by 20% to anything over 20 meters away. Now I have found with running it like this, that a lot of times you can 2 and 3 shot your enemies before they can even get to you. And even if they do get to you, you can pull out your hatchet and finish them off. And I believe running the hatchet and the bow, just like this, makes for a great starting build. It's great for solos, PvE, and questing. Now you might ask how come I didn't include anything about PvP. Well, that's easy. I believe at lower levels, you should not flag yourself for PvP, because you're going to get your ass waxed, especially right after launch. There's going to be a whole bunch of players wanting to prey on the weak. Maybe when things calm down after launch, it won't be so bad, but that's usually how MMOs work, especially when they first launch. Now, as for how I distribute my points as I leveled up, that is actually kind of easy on how I would do my first build. It's 2 1 and 1. As you level up, I would put 2 points in strength, 1 point in dexterity, 1 in Constitution. Your hatchet uses strength and dexterity, while your bow uses dexterity, and Constitution just raises your health. Now there is an argument to be made. Put more points in Constitution early on. It's more beneficial at lower levels. Put points in that attribute, because it's less effective at higher levels. but this will be your first build, and it should easily get you from 1 to 20 in levels pretty quickly. And remember, if for some reason this build or any other build that you make doesn't match your playstyle, you can always respec. Below level 20, you can respec for free. Now when it comes to what you should focus on trade skills, the number one thing I think you should focus on is stone cutting, because with stone cutting, you can create emerine tuning orb, which is what you'll need to do expeditions in New World. Yes, they can be found and given as quest loot, but it does make it easier just to create your own, because the loot drops inside these expeditions or instance dungeons are some things you're going to want to do over and over again. Now, we'll give you a few tips with my experience with New World. One is when it comes to your gathering tools, create your own, and try to create one with a special perk, and that perk is Azoth Extraction. Azoth is a hot commodity in New World. It helps with crafting, and it also helps with fast travel. So if your gathering tools have this perk, odds are you'll never run out of Azoth, because every time you gather, and yes, you will be gathering a lot of things, you have the ability to extract Azoth every time you gather. Next tip is if you're not running sword and shield or sword and board, do not carry a shield with you. Do not have it on your back. I've seen a lot of people running around with a shield on their back, running a hatchet, and that does no good. It does not increase your armor. All it does is add to the weight that you're carrying, and maybe switching you from like a medium build to a heavy build, affecting your ability to dodge. So don't do that. The next tip is for veterans and newbies alike. This here is the tutorial of New World. Now, if you've already played this once and already know the basics, you can skip the tutorial. All you have to do is hit escape and click jump to New World. And another tip in this area for new players, just follow a straight line. There is no sense in searching this entire area for some type of forgotten loot. There's none there, and nothing to be had. So just run through the tutorial, and don't make any deviations from your path, because it's a waste of time. And the last tip I have, at least for this video, is playing with friends. Now New World has 3 different starting areas, and they're all random. So when your friends start, they might not start in the same area you are. But do not run and find them right off the bat, because it won't work. But there is a little trick. All you have to do is do the very first quest you're given after the tutorial, and don't do the second quest. After you do the first one, then you can go run and find your friends. Admittedly, it's going to be one long ass run, but it can be done. The second quest is open to everyone. So that's how you find your friends when you first start the game. But don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe for future Axial GT content. It really helps out with YouTube's algorithm. And with that, my friends, I am out of here. You all have a good one.